टेक्निकल स्किल्स के साथ कोई सॉफ्ट स्किल एक फ्रेशर के पास होनी चाहिए और फ्रेशर्स आर सर्टिफिकेशंस नेसेसरी
As a data engineer, is there any particular tools or technology you majorly worked on a daily basis? I'm asking.
So how Amazon functions,
हम लोगों ने ये भी सुना ELT भी होता है और ETL भी होता है.
architectures, and why you choose this tool.
As a data engineer, how you can go with the pipeline, how to build that pipeline. Hi Kiran, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So my name is Aishwarya and this is my colleague Priyanka. So
Hello,
we'll be
Priyanka.
taking your podcast. So कैसे चल रही है life IT में?
All good. It's like full of challenges, I'll say.
So like I can see your I saw your resumes. You have a 8+ years of experience, right?
Yes.
So we'll start with some basic questions first. Okay.
Can you just walk us through your journey from your first job till now?
Yeah, certainly. Before that, even when I was graduating, right? I don't consider myself as I was graduating. I was very average. Like I just had some passing percentage or a little more than that.
Okay.
So starting from there, then I I gradually learned some things. But then when I was doing my college project, I was really passionate about it. I learned technologies, and we like then that time it was more of a data science boom in 2016. So
Okay.
we did like I did my college project into some machine learning to like machine learning algorithm or something. So from there all the data journey started. I was good in I wouldn't say I was bad in programming. I had little bit understanding around how how programs work, or I won't say I was very expert, but I could at least code. So that's what my basic skills were. And then after that I landed up in a job wherein I was working as a database developer. I went to like I chose one of the institute here who gives training about that, and then I got into that job.
Okay.
They were asking us like if you can learn about Java or something, but then I have decided that I would more prefer data sides. And
Okay.
somewhere on core I read that okay, be like start with SQL or something, so that's why I became a
So from the
data
start itself, you have
data
planned कि data में ही जाना है,
yes,
right?
yeah.
मतलब आपका इंटरेस्ट कैसा पैदा हुआ मतलब
so,
इस
so
फील्ड
from
में?
that project, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
from that project, I like you see I could see all world from 2016. When I learned about data science and machine learning and everything, I thought this will reshape everything, which is coming true now. But yeah, I thought it will reshape, and that's where I thought that I would go into data. But then after that, I worked as a database developer in startup, and then I moved to some other companies. And gradually, what I learned is I'm not very good at maybe presenting data and getting insights, but I'm good at prepping up the data and
Okay.
more of pre work with getting data ready for data analytics and everything. So that's where my
Interest was.
yeah,
Okay.
my interest moved into, and then I moved into full scale data engineering role. And right now, even beyond that, I'm working as associate manager, wherein I am mentoring multiple teams and multiple engineers as a data engineer.
Okay. So as of now, you work as a data engineer manager,
Yeah,
right?
you can say. I
Okay.
mean, it's associate manager, though.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So in the beginning of your career, have you faced any challenges while jumping into data engineering?
Uh, Not challenges, but yeah, I would say since it was a correct start, I will say that I was always I didn't started with Java or anything. I started with the database development and everything, right? And if you ask anyone like what is the most important skill as a data engineer, they will say SQL, right? So
Mm.
that's where my basics was clear, and from there I started. So yeah, that's why I think I am able to do something in this field. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Till now, you have worked on many projects, right? So, is there any one project that accelerated your career growth?
Um, every project is kind of shaping you, like startup company wherein the project was like whatever we were worked upon and never got on the production though, but then that gave me understanding that how enterprise system built and everything, right? How a database should be for an enterprise grade system. Then when I moved to ERT systems as a database developer, there I developed some reports and everything, which was like which gave me a confidence that for any given problem statement I can write like code and solve those problems. So from there I think my career jumped in, or I will say boosted. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, as a data engineer, is there any particular tools or technology you majorly worked on on a daily basis? I'm asking.
As a data engineer, it's always less about tools and technologies, languages. It's more about understanding the data.
Okay.
That is what I believe to the core of my heart, because see, unless you understand the granularity, maybe it's I don't know if it is very technical or something, but then yeah, unless and understand you and you understand the data, what is in their rows and columns, and maybe in the structures, then it becomes easy. So that data understanding is first. Second is SQL, because mostly data is in structured
Yes.
format and the RDBMSs nowadays. And then third, I will say Python. So these are the three technologies I will rate.
Okay.
Okay. So, are they compulsory learning for data engineering or?
More or less, yes. Nowadays, the technology is changing in a fast pace, I will say. Earlier, I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but earlier it was when you have to start with data engineering, you have to start with Spark, right? But nowadays,
Yeah.
with the ELT and tools which can load data into Snowflake, and then you are using DBT to directly process the data, and Spark is not coming in the picture in that scenarios.
Okay.
So yeah, it is evolving. That's what I'll say.
Okay. So, if someone is a fresher,
Mhm.
so what he or she can learn first, like SQL, Python, or any other tool or technology.
They should start with SQL.
Okay.
SQL should be a stellar skill, and that too should be their primary skill.
SQL is in like
Yeah,
Main, we can consider.
main.
major
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
Second is Python, I will say, because majorly, even if there are Java and other technologies are there, people from various backgrounds want to come into data engineering side. So that is there, but then still you have to start with Python, because most of the industries, most of the projects are like the tech stack is Python, right? So
Okay.
like from top side it comes that you should start with Python for data engineering side. So yeah, SQL and Python, that's what I will say. Then PySpark, if you can learn. Nowadays, like there are two aspects to it. Whether you want to be an analytics engineer, or you want to be a data platform engineer, or you want to be a DevOps engineer. These are correlated fields nowadays. So you need to really decide whether you want to move to analytics engineer side. Then I will say learn about Snowflake, Redshift, and then maybe ELT
Okay.
and DBT. But if you want to be core data engineer, maybe on the ingestion side, then learn about Python. Maybe in more details, learn about the APIs. How can we ingest data from APIs and various platforms like RDBMSs and everything, on file systems, if and Spark. So yeah, it
Okay.
changes.
So just you have mentioned a lot of things like technical stuff is there. Like honestly, we are not from technical, but हाँ हम लोगों को थोड़ा बहुत ज्ञान मिलता
Yeah,
रहता है सर से भी और आप लोग जब आते हो तब
yeah.
आपने जब एक टर्म बोली कि ELT
Mhm.
जो हम लोगों को भी अभी अभी थोड़ा बहुत समझा है हम लोगों ने ये भी सुना ELT भी होता है और ETL भी होता है
Yes.
तो इसमें डिफरेंस क्या होता है
Let's talk about it in a more more layman terms, I will say. So just the goal is, let's take an example of Amazon, right? So how Amazon functions. So there are multiple platforms or multiple websites Amazon have, web applications. maybe one will be what we see as a retail customers, that okay, there is Amazon website for on which we go and buy something, right?
Mhm.
There, let's suppose there are two, there will be one more web application wherein Amazon will be posting their this Amazon sellers might be logging in, and then they might post that okay, this is what product I have, right?
Hmm.
And this is
Mhm.
what the
For
quantity
selling.
is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are the two, let's suppose, web applications. Maybe someone is at the back end, one is MySQL, and another one is maybe just they are using some other tool like there is SQL Server, right? So these are the two different databases which they want to integrate. And like as you see, Amazon is a big company, and they have
Mhm.
office they have entities in across the globe. So this data is huge, right, which they want to integrate. So like unless they, if they just say that for a coming week, let's have a quantity of item X in this particular amount, right? They need to know from both the side what is the demand of that particular item or product, and what is the supply of that product. And that if they do that correctly, then and only then they can decide upon the discounts and all these
Okay.
aspects, right?
Mhm.
So in order to do that, they have to integrate both of these data from SQL Server as well as from MySQL. So here ETL or ELT, whatever you say, comes
Mhm.
into the picture. Now
Okay.
earlier they started with ETL, wherein we were extracting data on daily basis from these databases, not just databases, but sometimes it's API file systems. So from there we ingest this data from there, and then put it into the layers, and then finally convert it into the facts and dimensions, and then that is get served to client for wherein they create reports that okay, what was the demand of product A,
Particular product.
and
Okay.
what
Mhm.
was
Hmm.
the estimated sales, something like that.
Mhm.
Maybe data scientists may do modeling on top of it, right, on the facts and dimension. So
Okay.
ETL is extracting data, then transforming it into the format of facts and dimensions, maybe aggregating it into
Mhm.
the client specific reports,
And
and
then
then that
loading
is a
it.
transformation
Mhm.
layer, and then loading it into the final
Final layers.
layer, or various layers, like maybe raw, then maybe like you can say bronze, silver, gold, or any other
Okay.
in
Understood.
and then about ELT, it's like you are just extracting and loading data directly into a platform. Maybe if it is Snowflake, like nowadays
Mhm.
Hmm.
Snowflake
Snowflake
is
is
in.
in the what we say frame
Mhm.
Yeah.
nowadays.
Demand.
So let's load what they say is instead of transforming it on the fly, let's load the data on the platform, then transform it there and then, and then
Hmm.
publish it. So this is what two
Mhm.
different, what we say, approaches are.
Understood. Somewhere हम लोगों को समझ आई.
ओके. लिटिल बिट अ डिफरेंट क्वेश्चन.
Mhm.
अभी आपने बहुत सारे कंपनीज में काम किया है, तो मतलब रहता है ना कि रोल्स और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, तो आपके एज अ डेटा इंजीनियर रोल्स और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हर एक कंपनी में अलग अलग थे कि कैसे?
I never like recently. I'll say last 6 years I'm being I'm as working as a data engineer. Before that, I was database developer, so roles were
हम्म.
different. Initially, it was just writing SQL queries and just like understanding data, creating client reports, all that for first 2 years or something. Then after my role changed into more of like wherein I was doing
डेटा.
this ETL
ओके.
on for various, like I worked for Bank of Mexico and some other clients. And then after that I started working with analytic, wherein like I was working with multiple teams nowadays, and so role is evolving and changing. Yeah.
ओके.
Okay. Apart from that, I have like मैंने आपके CV में भी go through किया था. You have specifically worked on GCP and as well as Amazon
AWS.
services, right?
AWS, yeah.
So how can you differentiate that? Like कि कैसे कैसे projects में भी work करते थे ये GCP का एक अलग way में जाता है और AWS का specific अलग आप work जो भी बोलते हैं. तो how can you differentiate that? कि क्या रहता है?
Uh, uh, I won't say it is different. I will say it is more or less same.
अच्छा.
Both the even if you consider as AWS and GCP, most of the tools, like if here they will call it as a cloud function in GCP, there they will call it as a Lambda function. Just name changes,
Okay.
concept is the same. Here they will call it as a data proc in GCP. In Amazon AWS they will call EMR or Glue. So just
Okay. AWS Glue is there, right?
yeah. So this just naming is changed, but then the core technology is same. If you know Spark, then you may run your job on Dataproc or Glue or EMR. It's the same thing. Even
Okay.
if you go to Databricks, you are essentially writing a Spark code under that there will be a distributed computing nodes, clusters. So all these things will be same in all the cloud platforms, I will say.
ओके। तो अभी भी आप इंटरव्यू देते रहेंगे, राइट? तो इंटरव्यू जब अभी भी देते हो आप, तो मतलब आपको क्वेश्चंस कैसे पूछे जाते हैं? ऐसे पूछते हैं क्या? मतलब अभी भी एसक्यूएल की क्वेरी बोलते हैं क्या लिखने के लिए?
You won't believe, but still they ask SQL queries.
ओके।
And mostly I like, that is my strong part, and that's why it is easy for me. But otherwise, it is almost always they will ask SQL, because SQL is what they need to know if you have a real data understanding or not. Then they ask about some of the Python problem solving, like whether you are good with the loops and everything,
ओके।
basics. So these are the major checks. Then they go for architectures and why you choose this tool versus that tool. And then they might ask you that, okay, this is the given problem statement, what how will you design your data architecture? Because now I'm being a associate manager, or like, when I'm giving interviews, they as a solution architect or something, they are asking about the like how will you really develop your pipelines for a given problem statement, and what will be your architecture. That's how the questions are changing now.
Okay. And
ओके।
what about this pipeline? Like, can you describe a little bit like how we can, as a data engineer, how you can go with the pipeline, how to build that pipeline?
Okay, so process is like, first you need to know what is the requirement, what is the. So there are various steps in developing any pipeline. First, the planning, right, wherein you need to know what is the data volume which you might be ingesting. Continuing to the last example which we discussed, right? How much data is coming from this database daily? How much data will we get from this particular source, say maybe API or file system? Then what will be the frequency? Maybe some data is coming weekly, so frequency is important. Volume and frequency is
Okay.
the major things. Then we need to know about the refresh rate at which client want to see this data. Let's suppose even if the data is coming daily, but client just want to see the data monthly once, like their reporting just is monthly or quarterly. Then if you are processing it daily, then that is waste of the time, right? So then
Okay.
the third part is refresh rate, and the fourth aspect to this is about how what are the tools and technologies they will decide upon, and then we develop the layers about like what will be residing into the silver layer, what reports we will generate in the gold layers. These are the major aspects.
Okay.
And then the basic software architecture, that you need to do a dev deployment, then QA will happen, then there will be a further deployments on the pre-prod. So yeah,
ओके।
Okay.
Okay, apart from the technical questions, what does your day in your like life look like? Day in
um
your life.
okay. So how my day looks like, it is kind of busy, I will say. Initially, like, when I was working as a senior data engineer, or when I was just a data engineer, my day was easy. I will say, wherein I just have to have
Okay.
a task or data pipeline, or job, or a problem with the data pipelines, which I would just solve, and then just done. We are fine. Okay.
ओके।
Then
अभी
Okay.
मैनेजर बनने के बाद ज़्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़
well,
आए रहेंगी।
nowadays, like, you have to look for whether the other person is understanding the problem, whether
राइट।
he's solving it or not, whether is he happy with his whatever he's working with. If he is very like maybe a problem solver, and if he is getting some task wherein he just have to do a repetitive work, then is he
Okay.
happy? That is what I mostly
Okay.
concerned about. And then whether the clients are okay with the data outputs, is there any escalations, anything? And these are the strategies and everything. That's what
Okay.
days goes in now.
Okay, so basically you have a proper team,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so how many people are there in your team?
So there are multiple teams which I interact with. So mostly our data engineering teams are constituted from 3 people to 6 people. So there
Okay.
are 2 to 3 teams which directly reports to me, and I
Okay.
also work in one of the team as a lead. So that is again separate.
Acha.
Okay.
Okay.
One more question for freshers. Are
Hmm.
certifications necessary? Like, are certifications important or not?
I won't say it is necessary, but if you can do it, then that nothing like it, right?
Okay, for a fresher.
Okay. So for fresher, it's not necessary.
Okay.
Okay. So like if you would like to suggest uh freshers, like which platforms are like, let's compare you, you have a good knowledge or good expertise into GCP only, and nowadays AWS is also there in market.
Mm-hmm.
So according to you, what would you recommend to our freshers or like those who are looking this podcast?
Mm-hmm.
So which cloud platform they should have at least knowledge first?
Okay, so maybe like I worked on AWS, GCP, but I will suggest Azure as a
Yeah,
cloud.
Azure is also there. Yeah.
Maybe because I don't have knowledge on that, but yeah, not like that. But if you see like how I choose a cloud platform to study, right? You go through quarterly reports. Okay, quarterly they tell us that how much is the sale, how much is their growth. So as you see, like Azure is growing in a more faster way than any other cloud
Mm-hmm.
platform. So more and more companies are choosing Azure as a
Azure.
cloud, so we should go with Azure.
Okay.
ओके सो टेक्निकल स्किल्स के साथ कोई सॉफ्ट स्किल एक फ्रेशर के पास होनी चाहिए
Okay. For apart from technical skills, I will say there is always a balance of skills, soft skills, technical skills. Like the person who is very good in technical won't be able to just repeat the same things, right? He will always need a task wherein he can innovate, wherein he can just solve something which will be very helpful in his journey, so or like which will add to his experience. That is what he will be looking for. So yeah, that mix of skills will be there. So whatever you are good at, if you are good at technicals, I will say focus on technicals. But if you are not really good at technicals, it don't get disheartened. There are roles wherein they need people who can just repeat the things, and like you have basic hardworking, and if you are just following the tracks in that is also very important, and that's how data engineering teams also pitch to that. Two smart people and one free.
सो अगर किसी को टेक्निकल नॉलेज नहीं भी होगा तो इज देयर एनी चांस कि वो अपनी जर्नी स्टार्ट कर सकता है अगर बेसिक भी आता है एसक्यूएल आता है पाइथन आता है तो इज देयर एनी चांस कि वो अपना करियर डेटा इंजीनियर में स्टार्ट कर सकता है
Start with the data QA roles, wherein ETL testing, or I don't know the role name, but yeah, mostly ETL testing and data QA. So wherein they can just understand if data is coming correctly, they can validate the data. From there they can build understanding around data. Also nowadays this ETL testing also constitutes lot of code on cloud. You do use Glue, EMR, and all these things for QA as well, and Grafana and some other great expectations, and all these tools are there. So from there they can start to slowly, or also full-fledged data engineers as well, whatever they choose. So certainly there are always a requirement of data engineers as a freshers.
और एक क्वेश्चन पूछना था मतलब प्रोजेक्ट्स आपने बहुत सारे किए तो ऐसा कोई प्रोजेक्ट था कि आपको बहुत ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग लगा और फिर आपको ऑलमोस्ट गिव अप करने का मन हुआ ऐसे कुछ
I never give up, but then that is what my trick is. But I'll explain you about a project which I did in when I was working with Yaldi. So in Yaldi software, I was working on
building some repository which constitutes of like I'll say 100 of table, and that we wanted to write lot of tiny SQL and everything. And people with experience of more than 11 years MMT, they were building that particular report in survey. Like they build it and then they said that okay, we could build it because it some dynamic things were there to the and like some error and other calculation which you have to do in SQL. So I will not go into more of the details, but like for 1 month I was working on that problem, wherein in morning I used to work on one approach, evening I used to work on another approach, and towards the end of that month I got the solution. So that was the complex problem I solved.
Okay, so any piece of advice if you wanted to our students?
Piece of advice is see, it is like you if you repeat it, you will learn it. Okay, that is everyone is not if I just learn it once and then I can just implement. Some people take time to learn, to be persistent and believe in yourself.
There should be continuous learning.
Continuous learning, believing in themselves. They should believe in themselves. Then these are the two major areas of society.
Thank you so much. Elaborate technologies की तरफ about शुक्रिया इनले हम लिखा हुआ मोशन लिख सकते हैं इसको हेल्प करते हैं तो आप जैसे लोग जो आईटीज में सर्वाइव करते हैं उनको मोस्टली सैटरडे संडे भी ऑफ रहते हैं थैंक यू सो मच अपना टाइम निकाल के आने के लिए
And